finally we had an American hostage released from the Hamas terrorists. And isn't she cute? Absolutely darling. It's disgusting if you think about the fact that these cold-blooded terrorists are holding a beautiful little innocent 4-year-old girl like this. But they have been. In fact, they've got a couple of babies, infants right now that they still haven't released. But after 3 hostage releases, finally we had one of American citizenship released. Her name is Abigail Moore Eden. And she is the youngest of the U.S. citizens. She has dual citizenship. Now, our friend Matt Vespa over at Town Hall has the story here. And one part of the way CBS wrote up the story really stuck out. You'll see right here, Abigail's great aunt, Liz Hirsch Naftali, and her cousin, Noah Naftali, said in a statement Sunday, "We hoped and prayed today would come. There are no words to express our relief and gratitude that Abigail is safe." And that's wonderful. It's great. It's fantastic. Of course, it's the great aunt and cousin there to greet this little girl because her parents were slaughtered by the terrorists. Awful, awful story. Horrible. And we want every single hostage to be released. Our president and our State Department should be working tirelessly every second of the day to get every single hostage released. Let's just say that flat out. And we're thrilled that this little girl is out. But there's more to this story. There's more to the story that you need to know about. Because as you see from the headline from Matt Vespa's article at Town Hall, the family of the first American released by Hamas also bought Hunter Biden's art. This is unbelievable. And if it's a coincidence, boy, howdy, it's one of the strangest coincidences you'll ever see. The independent investigative reporter Benjamin Weingarten actually saw that name stick out and said, hold on a minute, the name of the great aunt. He says, you're telling me that the great aunt of the youngest American hostage and first American released by Hamas is a buyer of Hunter Biden's art, who was also appointed by Joe Biden to the U.S. Commission of the Preservation of America's Heritage Board. You probably saw this story a while back, where just so happens that somebody who got this really Tony, cool, cushy presidential appointment also happened to be one of the people who bought Hunter Biden's crack-filled, art-frenzied, paint splashed against a canvas. Now you can give me your hundreds of thousands of dollars under the table and no one will be the wiser for it. Artwork. That's right. Now, you'll remember that the Hunter Biden artwork basically appears to be a scheme to continue to funnel money to Hunter Biden and the Biden family without having to actually buy access to Joe Biden officially, as it was done for 8 years when he was vice president, allegedly. We'll let the Judiciary and Oversight Committee handle that from this point forward. But it sure appeared that instead of selling access and meetings and dinners and other things that the big guy could deliver, instead now just buy art from Hunter. And the White House was not involved in it. There's no ethical challenges or investigations because, listen, the president's son, he has a right to make money however he wants. He's an artist after all. Is he? Have you seen his art? Yeah. So Ben Weingarten, he investigates this, and he pulled up an original article written in Business Insider, and let me just blow it up here for you so you can see it. Buyer of Hunter Biden's artwork is Elizabeth Hirsch Naftali, a Los Angeles real estate investor and philanthropist. Hirsch Naftali is influential in California Democratic circles and a significant Democratic donor. Gave $13,000 to the Biden campaign, $29,000 to the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee this year. And she hosted a fundraiser for Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, just connect the dots here. This person decides that she, after giving so much money to Joe Biden and then getting an appointment to a commission, decides to buy art from, not some actual famous artist, not an actual artist, not a Picasso, not a Rembrandt, not even, some sort of Warhol situation. Nope. I want to make an art investment in Hunter Biden's art, the crackhead who's probably going to jail. And then it turns out that out of the 9 or 10, they still won't give us a firm number on how many Americans are being held over there. But out of all of the people who are being held that are of American citizenship, the one person that gets released also just happens to be related to the 1 in a million shot woman who happened to buy Hunter Biden's art. Now, I'm sure it's just a coincidence. I'm sure that this isn't pay for play. I'm sure this isn't corruption. I'm sure this isn't quid pro quo. I'm sure that Joe Biden said, listen, I don't care about the other hostages. Just make sure this one comes out because this is a big donor. I'm sure none of that happened. Aren't you? That's right. We're sure none of that happened. But here's the thing. This is why we don't want a corrupt president. This is why we don't want corrupt people in the president's family. This is why we don't want the president's son and brother and every other family member getting money from nefarious avenues funneled to him for God knows what, from corrupt countries like China and Kazakhstan and Russia and Ukraine. This is why it's a bad thing, because then when something very innocent, very wonderful, like the release of an American hostage, a little 4-year-old girl, when something like this happens, we don't want to have it sullied and stained by the stench of political corruption, which this is. This is why you don't want your president to be corrupt, because then everything he does seems like it's corrupt.